So this is basically the second part to my last video. So realize I've pointed out that everybody, especially the false prophets, have focused their attention on this distraction. What I've explained is a distraction that they want you to believe that the UN, this statue outside the very front of the UN, is the image of the beast, or the beast that is spoken of in Revelation. But what I'm going to reveal to you is why this distraction has been done. So they knew that I was revealing the truth about what the beast actually represents, and they suddenly popped this up. They threw this statue up in the very front for everybody to see and be noticed. And that is not what the enemy wants to do. The enemy is not going to reveal the plan, their plans. They would not do this. But this does serve the purpose. This does serve their purpose, because if everybody rises up, just like what happened to the people on January the 6th, if they rise up against the UN, this justifies what what the scripture actually says and who the UN actually represents. So while all the false prophets have focused their attention on this particular statue, and I want to point out this too, they saw that I was revealing accurately who all the horsemen of the apocalypse were, who all the four horsemen were, and they knew I had already gotten to the black horse rider, and they knew I was about to reveal who the pale horse rider was. So they knew they needed to throw this statue to distract you from their other statue. There's your pale horse rider. That is their other statue that sits at that same location. And you need to understand this statue is the pale rider. The original translation is chloros, which means a pale green. There is the pale green horse and rider statue that is at that same location. And that rider is supposed to symbolize peace. Is supposed to be their peace statue, but they clearly say that this is the statue of Mir, spelled M-I-R. And if you go back to the origins of what Mir is, it is paganism. It is some of the worst paganism, and very important to note, one of the deities associated to Mir is the bear. Realize that. And the symbology of the bear in Revelations and what I've been teaching. So there is your statue of the pale rider, the pale horse, chloros. That is the accurate original translation, which means pale green. So understand why they did what they did, because they knew I was the one that knew the truth and was revealing everything. So they quickly threw up this statue in the very front of their place in New York to distract you from this statue. Realize that they are the pale rider, and they, just like what happened on January the 6th, this can be used as a tool to get people to rise against them, which would justify using the world's largest standing army, which is the United Nations Army, to oppress and persecute Christians. This is the whole plan. This is what they want. Just like what Donald Trump wanted to do to people and the Democrats on January the 6th. They want you to see this and rise against them so they can do what is spoken of in Scripture of what the pale rider does. To kill and destroy, famine, plague. This is who they are. And notice also that the UN symbol is the cage is very similar to the World Health Organization symbol minus the rod of Asclepius. And notice that it is the caged earth and the laurel wreath of victory, which is directly associated to Apollyon from Revelation 9:11. That is the truth. See that this is the what they want to distract you from when they put this up. But this serves the purpose in getting the masses to rise against them so they can persecute and do exactly to the people. And they're using the false prophets to do this. They're using these false prophets to make people believe this is the beast spoken of and to rise against them, but see that they are not. This is not it. This is what they actually are. And read about the pale rider, the pale horse rider. So now you know the truth. Make people aware so they're not deceived by this misinformation propaganda and misled by the false prophets who have no discernment. God bless.